All right, we're back again, and you're very welcome back to the second half of the program. You're looking a bit better in the second half than you were in the first for some reason, whatever you've been at in the meantime. I'd like to introduce you to some great friends, very interesting musicians and very interesting people. They're part of a group called Different Drums, who have been traveling all around the place. Indeed, I have traveled in their company on many's a rare occasion to many different places. On my left, from Bangor, Paul Marshall. In the centre, from Mayo Bridge, Dolores O'Hare. And on the right, from the Waterside in Derry, Mr. Roy Arbuckle. Thank you very much, Paul, Roy, Dolores. Different Drums. Jim Wilson mentioned earlier on there, it might be a good idea not to sit too close to underneath the chandeliers when the lambegs come on, but everything's fine, all's well, and a lovely mixture of percussion and music there tonight. I would like to introduce you to another friend who's, I suppose this is the east-west dimension now we have to look at. This man comes, well, he was born on a boat in London. He started Virgin Records with Richard Branson quite a few years ago. And in fact, he produced the first major record for Virgin Records called Tubular Bells with Mike Oldfield. By the way, for our radio listeners, he's coming down the banister at the moment. I'll tell you a little bit more about him. He's just after coming down the banister from top to bottom there and looking as fit as a fiddle. Tom Newman was over recording some engineering records and producing records in Restrever not too long ago. And we were sitting in the house and we were looking out at the sea at Carlingford Lough. And I heard Tom saying, "What's that?" I said, "What's what?" Is it the mountain you're looking at, Slieve Fye, or maybe the loch that keeps changing in colour all the time? Because, in fact, if you turn around 360 degrees, is a different picture that you see each time you turn. "No," he says, "it's that other thing." I said, "Is it the boat, the minesweeper that's out in the middle of the loch?" "Yes." He said, "I have one of those at home." Which he has. And he's working on taking it over here to set up a radio station in it, and we're working with lots of people who are here tonight. Trevor Simpson down there, and Rosie, and David Hanna, and lots of people who are involved in this sort of work, because what Tom intends to do is to bring out Protestant Catholic children and let them make radio programs and sing songs and get to know each other and so on. But that's Tom Newman. You would never know what he's going to do tonight. Mr. Tom Newman.
Thank you, Tom. Well, I'd like to just do a little tiny tribute, really, to a guy we've lost recently, Lonnie Donegan, who anyone up near the 60s will remember that he's what turned a lot of us onto rock and roll in the first place. It's his fault, most of this stuff. And he was a great Irish Catholic Protestant Scotsman, as far as I remember. Sweet 16 goes to church just to see the boys, laughs and screams and giggles at every little noise, turns her head a little and turns her face a while, but we know she's only putting on the style. She's putting on the agony, putting on the style. That's what all the young folks are doing all the while. And as I look around me, I sometimes have to smile, seeing all the young folks putting on the style. Well, the young man in his hot rod car, driving like he's mad, with a pair of yellow gloves he's borrowed from his dad. He makes it roar so loudly to see his girlfriend smile, but we know he's only putting on the style. Oh, putting on the agony, putting on the style. That's what all the young folks are doing all the while. And as I look around me, I sometimes have to smile, seeing all the young folks putting on their style. A preacher in a pulpit, he roars with all his might, singing glory, hallelujah, puts the folks all in a fright. Well, you may think that Satan was coming down the aisle, but it's only our poor preacher boy putting on his style. He's putting on the agony, putting on the style. That's what all the young folks are doing all the while. And as I look around me, I sometimes have to smile, seeing all the young folks putting on the style. They're putting on the agony, putting on the style. That's what all the young folks are doing all the while. And as I look around me, I sometimes have to smile, seeing all the young folks putting on the style. Oh, yeah! Well, this one's another one of his big hits. Oh me, oh my, oh you, whatever shall I do? Hallelujah. Well, the question is peculiar. I'd give a lot of dough if only I could know the answer to this question. Is it yes or is it no? Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? If your mother says don't chew it, do you swallow it in spite? Can you catch it on your tonsils? Can you heave it left and right? Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Here comes the blushing bride, the groom is by her side. Up to the altar, it's as steady as Gibraltar. Well, the groom has got the ring, and it's such a pretty thing. And as he puts it on her finger, the choir begins to sing. Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? If your mother says don't chew it, do you swallow it in spite? Can you catch it on your tonsils? Can you heave it left and right? Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Well, the nation rises one to stand there on its own. Up to the White House, well, the nation's only right house, to voice their discontent unto the president upon the burning question that has rent the continent. Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? If the peace process stops working, do you swallow it in spite? Can you catch it on your tonsils? Can you heave it left and right? Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? On the bedpost over, well, a dollar is a dollar and a dime is a dime, and I'd love you every morning, but I never have the time. On the bedpost over, well, A, B, C, W, X, Y, Z, and the cat's in the cupboard, but you never see me on the bedpost overnight.
Tom Newman. He's not only a great record producer, he's a great singer as well. Well, we'd like to travel to the Mournes, the mountains of Mourne, for the next piece of music. There's a small place called Ballinran, not too far from Kilkeel. There's a great flute band there, and we've got some members from that band here tonight to play a few tunes. And they're going to start off with a march, followed by a little location piece of a medley of Percy French, followed by a couple of jigs. Please welcome the Flutes of Mourne. David McClarty from Coleraine has just dropped in here. He's got some other business later on tonight, but we're delighted to have him here. And David, what will you give to us tonight?
Well, a very well-known poem by the late, great W.F. Marshall. Everyone knows it, entitled Me and Me Da. I'm living in Drumleaster and I'm getting very old. Have to wear an Indian bag to save me from the cowl. The devil a man in this town land was cleaner aired nor me, and I'm living in Drumleaster and clabber to the knee. Me da lived up in Carman and kept a servant boy. His second wife was very sharp. He buried her with joy. Now she was thin, her name was Flynn, and she came from Cullentra. And if me shirt's a clatty shirt, sure, the man they blames me da. Concerning women, sure it was a constant word o' his. Keep far away from them that's thin, their temper's easy res. Well, I know too, I thought would do, but still I had me fears, so I kiffled back and forth between the two for years. Wee Margaret had no fortune, but 2 rosy cheeks would please. The farmer land was Bridget's, but she took the pox disease. Now Margaret she was very wee, and Bridget she was stout, but her wee face was like a barn door with the bowls pulled out. I'll tell no lie, in Margaret she thought the world of me. I tell the truth, my heart would leap the sight of her to see. But I was slow, ye surely know the reason of it now. If I left her home from Carman, me da would raise her eye. So I kiffled back and forth till Margaret got a man. A fella came from Mullis land and left me just the one. I mind the day she went away, I had one struck an hour, and cursed the wasp from Cullentra that made me da so sour. But crying cures no troubles. To Bridget I went back and faced her for it that night week beside her own turf stack. I asked her there and spoke her fair, the handy wife she'd make me. I talked about the land that joined. By God, she wouldn't take me. So I'm living in Drumleaster and I'm getting very old. I creep to Carman once a month to try and save me soul. The devil a man in this town land was cleaner aired nor me, and I'm dying on Drumleaster in clabber to the knee.
David McClarty from Coleraine. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much. The Flits of Morn, thank you very much indeed. And it's great to get an opportunity to get them, whenever they stop marching, to get them sitting down and for us to sit down and listen to it. It's lovely. Well, one of the great things about traveling around the place and playing music is meeting people and meeting other musicians and poets and philosophers and storytellers and all the rest of it. In fact, I was over in Glasgow not too long ago, and I overheard a conversation going on between two poets at a table just close to me. And one was saying to the other, "What are you at the minute?" "I'm writing a poem." "What do you think I'm doing?" "What are you at?" "I'm writing a poem too." "How are you getting on?" "I'm stuck." "You're stuck? How are you stuck?" He says, "I can't think of a word to rhyme with great." See, man says that shouldn't be too difficult. You see, great. How about fascinate? Great, fascinate. "Brilliant," says your man, and he starts to write, and he says, "I've got it finished. Do you want to hear it? I do. I have a lovely duffel coat. I really think it's great. There are 9 buttons on it, but I can only fascinate." The worst ever I heard, but the thing is, whenever you're writing songs or writing poetry or maybe composing political speeches, sometimes you're thinking of words to go with meanings, and at all times you're trying to think of meanings to go with words. And I would like to introduce you to someone who I admire very much. She has made her first CD, and she's going to come up here and give us a poem that will set us thinking in the way she wants us to think. Please welcome, from County Armagh, Joan Gaffin.
Well, I just started writing poetry when I retired from the teaching. And my poetry is said in the old County Down accent because that's where I came from. Now, this poem happened because a nephew of mine came in one day and he said he saw a friend of mine there who was called Kate. And he said, "Did she never get a man?" Well, I thought, you cheeky thing. But still, I began to wonder who had got the best bargain, myself or Kate. So I wrote this poem. It often makes me wonder, and it often makes me think, when I rise up in the morning to these greasy dishes in my sink, for I've put soda on my griddle and rashers on my pan. But Kate, she's in Bermuda, 'cause she never got a man. Now, I've a week each year in hospital to get this nice new bar. I keep changing smelly nappies in the footsteps of my ma. Well, I'll get a day in Wern Point, and I'll try to get it down. But Kate, she's in Jamaica, 'cause she never got a man. Now, my man, he says he loves me, and that might even be true. I wonder will he say the same when I hit 72? But the Avon lady's calling, and I look the best I can. But Kate, she's in Haiti, 'cause she never got a man. Now, do you wonder what I wonder? And do you wonder what I think when I'm here, up to my oxters, in this matrimonial sink, while Kate, she's in Australia, America, or Japan, lying in the lap of luxury, 'cause she never got a man.
Wow. That was Joan Gaffin, and I could see a lot of smiles around the audience, especially from the feminine side of things. A beautiful one. She never got a man. Well, I particularly saw a smile coming from Jane Morris of the Women's Coalition. Jane, would you come up here, please? Jane Morris, Deputy Speaker from the House here, and we're delighted to have her. Give her a big round of applause. Jane, I thought you would like that somehow.
Very much indeed. Yes, totally appreciated.
Right. Do you think that women are needed in politics at the moment?
Oh, I say, you want me to make a political speech here? Women, of course women are needed in politics at the moment. Absolutely, no question about it. 50-50. I think we're 51% now of the population, so we should be 51% of politics as well.
Probably the women coming in have added a new dimension as well.
Well, I mean, it's honestly, we many of us. I mean, I hate to generalise, but you know, we have different approaches, different priorities, different skills, different experiences. You know, that it's not necessarily better than. I mean, that's what we believe, but it's equal to, and should be seen as such. And I think it's very important to have both sides of that coin around any table.
Absolutely. Well, Jane, I heard someone was telling me a few days ago that you're a very good dancer. We won't dance tonight. Well, maybe later on. But I heard you're fairly fussy about who you dance with as well. In fact, I heard that you danced with Omar Sharif one time. Tell us about that.
Help! How on earth did you hear that? Yes.
He told me.
Oh, did he? Did he tell you? Is he still alive?
He might be here tonight.
It was in Monte Carlo, and I was a receptionist, an interpreter at the Olympic Bridge tournament, and he was, it was the World Olympic Bridge, and he was a compere. You know, he had to say for the television cameras where, because he's a very expert poker player. And anyway, in the evening there's a very famous place called Jimmy's in Monte Carlo. And we were just the staff, you know, of this bridge tournament. And we wanted to get in, and they wouldn't let us in the club. And Omar Sharif came past, and he said, let them in, let them in. And I was with a boyfriend at the time. And this is a long, long time ago. And anyway, we all sat down, and Omar Sharif came over and asked me to dance. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm with my boyfriend.
And you refused him?
Well, no, I sort of...
You just, yeah.
Is this on? Is this live?
Pretty close to it.
I hope my husband isn't listening, and he never knew this.
Omar Sharif might be listening. Jane, I believe you have a poem for us tonight, and I'd love to hear. Just take this microphone here. Jane Morris.
Well, actually, I wanted to sing tonight. But Tommy didn't encourage me. I think he'd heard my reputation as a singer as well, so I didn't push my luck. So I decided I would recite a poem. And I'll give you a wee bit of the background into this, first of all. There was a time, round about this time last year, if people remember the political scene at the time, we did something very, very difficult. The D word, or the RD word, redesignated. And it was a very hot and heavy and difficult time, certainly for us to do it. And after it was all over, I was sent this poem by a wonderful musician, a female musician who some of you may know, Elizabeth Bicker. Yes. Out of the blue, I'd met her years and years before, but out of the blue, she sent me this poem as a way of saying, I understand what you were doing, and I'd like to read it to you. It's it was written by a Chinese woman in BC 675 BC, right? And it was translated in 1913 by a local woman, Helen Waddell, people may know as well. She translated it into English from the Chinese. And it goes like this. I would have gone to my Lord in his need, have galloped there all the way. But this is a matter concerns the state, and I, being a woman, must stay. I watched them leaving the palace yard, in carriage and robe of state. I would have gone by the hills and fjords. I know they will come too late. I may walk in the garden and gather lilies of mother of pearl. I had a plan, would have saved the state, but mine are the thoughts of a girl. The elder statesmen sit on the mats and wrangle through half the day. 100 plans they have drafted and dropped, and mine was the only way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane Morris. Well, my brother Colm was doing a little tour recently in the Middle East with a Jewish actress, and they were doing a program together. And I thought maybe on account of it being near Christmas, we'd get him up here to give us a song. Please welcome Colm Sands.
Thank you very much. Tommy has been leaving Rostrevor for years and coming to downtown. He never told us he had this place. Not a bad house. It's not a very good likeness on that statue of him, though, I don't think. Coming home with the Christmas shopping under the left arm. It's great to be here. I was in that chamber a few moments ago. It's all quiet now, all those empty seats where the people with power and the people that give us hope sit. And I would love to think that some of the harmony that's in this room tonight has drifted in there and will stay there when you go back in to talk again. I want to also congratulate everyone who came here tonight from a school in Israel. I was on the phone to them today. The first integrated school for Jews and Arabs. It's a place called Neve Shalom, the Oasis of Peace. And Jews and Arabs have come together there in a school because they feel that's the way to change things, to let children know from a very early age that they're all the same. So you have the blessings of God and Allah with you tonight. Well, I wrote this song for some concerts I did in the Middle East and a show called Talking to the Wall. And it's a funny thing, when I was leaving Belfast to go over to Tel Aviv, people said to me, "You're going to Tel Aviv, are you mad?" And when I was leaving Tel Aviv to come back to Belfast, "You're going to Belfast? You might. It's funny going over there. You know the way here when you walk down the street, you sometimes get an idea of the persuasion of the people living in the street. They give you a few clues, maybe by hanging out a flag or two or painting the curbstones, just to give you a hint of where you are. And when I got out of the car the first day in Tel Aviv, the curbstones there were painted red, white and blue. And I first thought there was maybe an advance party over. But it turned out it was a parking thing. When you're allowed to park, to paint the curbstones blue and white, and when you're not allowed to park, to paint them red and white. So I think where I had parked the car, they weren't too sure. The song's called Talking to the Wall. There's a chorus in it. It'd be great to hear you singing it. The first verse goes back a long, long way. We will start at the beginning. When he led them to the tree, eat from anyone at all, except that one there, says he. Was it on the 1st of April? What was on his mind at all? She might as well be talking to the wall. You might as well be talking to the wall. In one ear and out the other, you may shout or yell or bawl, but you might as well be talking to the wall. That's your part for future reference. A dog marks out his kingdom with one leg up to the wall. Now evolution squirms, for human brains are just as small. Spraying colours on the curbstones, hanging flags that always fall. She might as well be talking to the wall. Let's hear you. You might as well be talking to the wall. In one ear or the other. In one ear and out the other. You may shout or yell or bawl, but you might as well be talking to the wall. Superpowers play God, drive crisis to the brink, sell weapons to both sides, then stand back, condemn the stink. But ask them to condemn the greed that drives them one and all. You might as well be talking to the wall. Sing it like you mean it. You might as well be talking to the wall. In one ear or the other. In one. You may shout or yell or bawl, but you. If you can't improve on silence, then do not speak at all. But everybody's talking. Hear that lonesome mobile call. Is that you? This is me. Can you hear me? Not at all. She might as well be talking to the wall. Last chance for Christmas. You might as well be talking to the wall. In one ear and out the other. You may shout or yell or bawl, but you might as well be talking to the wall. Thank you.
Column stands, and you might as well be talking to the wall. Well, I'd like to introduce you to another woman who has made a great contribution in the whole political world. And I suppose maybe since women have become involved in politics, it gives us a half of ourselves that we maybe have disregarded so much in the past. But I would love you to welcome onto the stage to give us a song, Miss Barbara de Brun. What will you sing for us, Barbara?
I want to sing Brí Jog Ní Bhaile. It's a song of unrequited love.
Ah.
It's the opposite of the one that never got her man. This guy didn't get his woman. And now I know a wee bit about what it feels like to sing for survival.
Brí Jog Ní Bhaile, Stúdag má Crí Craite, Gur tú Haring ag Bhaile, Trícheart Lár má Crí, Tána Céta Faring Rá, Le Déan Ciún Nai. an shake for el posta is gaan evelom.
Thank you very much. Barbara de Brun. Rijo Nawalya. Mila Maigat. And Barbara, of course, speaks French and German and many languages. In fact, I heard a story about, well, it's a little bit scary, this story, so if you happen to be a little bit nervous, maybe you should hold on to the person beside you. It's really a children's story, but we all were children at one time or other, or most of us. And if we weren't, well, we went to school with them or something like that. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a cat. And she had a fairly, I suppose, uncomplicated first name. They called her Cat. But she had 3 of the loveliest kittens ever you saw in your life. And they all lived in a cardboard box with straw all around them in the outhouse of a farm. And in that box, the cat and the kittens were nice and comfortable and warm and cozy. But outside, the wind was blowing. It was very dark. The rain was coming down out of the sky. And suddenly, the wind blew the door open. And what appeared at the door but a big, slabbery-mouthed Doberman. And the eyes were standing in his head like sausages, these new type of sausages. And his teeth were like the 10 Commandments, nearly all broken. He took a look around the door cheek, and he saw the cat and the kittens. And slowly he started to walk towards him. And the kittens are very scared, and they tried to hide behind the cat. And the cat tried to hide behind the kittens. But the dog closer and closer. And the kittens, their eyes hadn't been very well opened at the beginning, but they were well opened now. And the big dog got closer and closer. And suddenly he went, woof! Well, the cat jumped about that high in the sky, like many's another here tonight. And the kittens jumped about 3 times that height, because there's 3 of them, of course, and they were lighter on their feet. They were younger. Well, the kittens looked at the cat with great fear in their eyes, and the cat looked at the dog, and the cat says to the dog, "Woof, yourself." Well, this particular dog never had heard a cat bark before. The life was scared out of the dog. He put his tail between his legs, his back legs, and a wee bit of his front, jumped through the window, jumped through the thickest part of a hedge and over fields and ditches and bogs and briars, running through the night and guthrie gaps because he'd never heard a cat bark before. And the kittens looked up at the cat with great admiration in their eyes. And the cat looked at the kittens and she said, "Always remember, children, what I always tell you. It is very important to have a second language." I think as the years go on, we will all be influenced by all the people coming into us, not only people like ourselves, but other groups of people as well. Because I remember actually speaking to, many years ago, at a little debate we had that I was chairing, and that great Ulster poet John Hewitt was there, who was a wonderful man. And I remember I had the innocence and stupidity to ask him. I said, we were talking about politics, and I said, "John, are you British or Irish?" And he looked at me and he said, "I was born in Belfast. I'm a Belfast man. Belfast is an Antrim. I am an Antrim man. Antrim is in Ulster. I am an Ulster man. Ulster is in the island of Ireland. I am an Irish man. The island of Ireland is in the British Isles. I am British. Britain is in Europe. I am European. Do you want me to go on?" And sometimes we're told that we're only this or that. And tonight we're not celebrating our separateness nor even our oneness, but a little bit of our allness. And I think whenever you hear the songs been sung tonight from the people in this house, from the politicians, the power that you can feel coming from all these people from different sides, put that power together and what a place we would have. It would be incredible. Eamon Malley works for Downtown Radio, and he's been in this house many a time. And Eamon was telling me about an event that's happening here, which is very interesting. Eamon, welcome. Eamon Malley, a well-known journalist, reporter.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Tommy. I was just thinking there have been a lot of love songs and talks about love songs tonight. There's a man in our part of the country, I was reminded of this, by the words of the songs, some of the songs about the men who got women and the women who got men and the men who didn't get women and the women who didn't get men. There was a man in our part of the country in South Armagh called Paddy the Post Trader, and he used to say, if you don't get the woman you love, love the woman you get. I suppose it's a motto for us all. Yeah, Tommy, essentially you've invited me here to say a few words. Before saying the few words about the project that's in hand within the building here, I think it would be remiss of me not to draw attention to something else. In the course of the Assembly over the last number of years that has been in place here, we lost one member, Tom Benson, who died, the late Tom Benson of the Ulster Unionist Party, and we had quite a lot of illness here. We had Carmel Hanna was unwell, Joan Carson was unwell, and Sam Foster was unwell. Thank God they're all with us tonight, and I think that we should give them a round of applause. Essentially, all I have to say is that about 6 months ago, I put a proposition to the Speaker, Lord Allardyce, who brought the proposition to the Commission, which is the engine room here of the Assembly, whereby we would commit to paint the head of every member of the Assembly, all 108 members, including those who are no longer members of the Assembly. That was Mr. Benson, who died, and John Hume, Arthur Doherty, who are no longer in the Assembly. So there's a project in hand now to have each member of the Assembly painted within a canvas 8 feet by 4, and it's going to hang in there in the Senate room opposite William Connor's portrait of the state opening, I think it was 1912.
Thank you, Eamon Malley. Right, we're coming towards the close, not quite, and I won't detain you much longer, as Henry VIII used to say to the wife. But I would like to introduce you to a wonderful drummer, Mark Wilson. Give him a big round of applause. Wonderful drumming and juggling. Mark Wilson. Right. We're coming towards the end, but not quite the end. We have a song to give you, and Maybe if some of the odds could come up and join me. Roy, will you come up? Call, Anne, Ben. And is Stan Pappenfuss here, the man from South Africa? The psychologist from South Africa. Because the thing is, this is a little piece which we put together for tonight, and it's never been heard before, even by us. And we'll get there. It's with all the different rhythms that is part of this place, and I suppose people often say, "How long have you been here?" You've only been here 600 years. That's not too long. Or you've been only here 1,000 years. The thing is, we all came from somewhere else, even if it's a Tuatha De Danann from a cloud. So we're all here, and we're still coming. There's people still coming from. I think we all started in Africa anyway, years ago, and now we're here, and there's people coming every day, and people will keep coming every day. So now that we're here, we're not going away, and we might as well make the best of it and have a good time here together. This is a piece that we're all going to gather around a microphone, and we're going to see what happens. Yes. As soon as I get this capo on the guitar, because it's in the key of B minor for anybody with mouth organs out there. All right there, Stan. By the way, I'd like to introduce you to, I think you've met almost everyone here, except Brendan Monaghan. Brendan is a great piper and a great whistle player. Not only is he a great friend and a great musician, but he does great work all around the place. He teaches children music in places like Altnavea House in Uri, and in Kilkeel and Banbridge, Tandragee. He goes all over the place. Brendan Monaghan. This is called The Pulse of Ulster. A holy eye of paradise paints a picture of wild emotion. An island rising in the sky, all upon the western ocean. Hero true, she calls a tune to tame the waves of thunder, to welcome in the stranger filled with weariness and with wonder. Well, some went east and some went west, where rocky hills are rolling, right to left, with arms outstretched to reach from sea to ocean. Harp and song went hand in hand to charm the heart of Munster, but the poets fine with the rhythm and the rhyme made a line for the pulse of Ulster. We all came across the ocean in boats of hope, in clouds of wonder, way away across the ocean to dance to the pulse of Ulster. dance to the pulse of Ulster. We all came across the ocean in boats of hope, in clouds of wonder, way away across the ocean to dance to the pulse of Ulster. Patrick's bliss and Maha's curse, the mountains they are burning. There's ships of many different shapes all along the ocean churning. Is it pride or poverty? Is it greed or hunger? When might is right and freedom's light is drowned in hate and anger. 1916, we can still remember. But to the blight of bigotry, let there be no surrender. Children are calling, no more guns nor plunder. If you don't hear that, then you better waken up and get your finger on the pulse of Ulster. We all came across the ocean in boats of hope, in clouds of wonder, way away across the ocean to dance to the pulse of Ulster.
World champion dancer.
We all came across the ocean in boats of hope, in clouds of wonder, way away across the ocean to dance to the pulse of Ulster. There's a rhythm in the river, a rhythm in the rain, a rhythm in the wind that's changing. There's a rhythm in the rattle and the rolling up the drum and the fiddle and the bagpipes playing. A rhythm in the giving hand that pulls a pint of porter. The graceful twirl of a textile girl or the dodge of a shipyard worker. The dodge of a shipyard worker. The dodge of a shipyard worker. across the ocean, in boats of hope, in clouds of wonder, way away across the ocean, to dance to the pulse of Ulster. There's more of us coming each morning from faraway colourful lands, from every degree of the compass, coming to join in the dance, just like our forefathers before us, from Africa, Asia or France, turning the pages of history to add a new step to the dance. Thank you very much indeed. The boys from the shipyard. Wonderful stuff. Tura Aratura. And the dancing girls from Kilkeel. Tura comes from Zimbabwe. The dancing girls from Downpatrick, actually. I just want to mention the gentleman with the hat who came out here to dance. Are you there, Jim? Would you just come out a moment, please? You probably heard of a man called Michael Flatley. Michael Flatley was in the World Championships finals on 2 occasions. Each time he was beaten by a man from the Gap of the North called the Giant Killer Gentleman Jim Johnson. Here he is. Jim, would you give us a little... Jim is going to give a little a cappella first before we go. Jim Johnson. Mark, thank you. Stan, Pavan, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody. Thank you very much indeed. The boys from the shipyard. Wonderful stuff. Karen Morrison and Ivan Black.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleeping in heavenly rest, sleeping in heavenly rest. You all know this one from your childhood. Away in a manger, no crib for.
Thank you very much indeed. We've come to the end of our little program tonight. Many thanks for allowing us to come into your house. We're like Mummer is coming in out of the night here. And I'd just like to say thanks to all the people, all the musicians who took part. A lot of them traveled long distances and they weren't interested in money or anything like that. They just wanted to show their solidarity with what you're doing here. And I hope that it gives you a little bit of extra encouragement whenever you start working on all the issues that you have to work through. Thank you.
Herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. And let's finish with, "O come all ye faithful." Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Good night.